In this exercise tutorial, I'm going to be taking you through how to do a barbell bench press, but there's one slight twist. This is a hybrid variation where you're also doing a 2-in-1 movement. The other movement is you're going to have your feet off the floor and your knees bent at 90 degrees when you do this exercise. So they're going to be above the position of your body. Now, this is quite a controversial exercise, and when it comes to 2-in-1 exercises, there are some that are great and there are some that are questionable. And for people that, let's say, are quite into their bodybuilding or strength training, they'll often see this variation and go, just do a normal bench press. Now, this would be for somebody that's trying to do a higher rep range, work multiple muscle groups at the same time, being core and chest. So it's almost like a hybrid 2-in-1 exercise. Now, if someone's going for pure strength and power and they just want to load up a bench press, I'd just say do the bench press. If this was part of a circuit where somebody wants to train core and they also want to train chest at the same time, it's a great exercise, but it's something you won't see commonly in a gym. I would potentially maybe do this more in classes and things like that. So just to kind of get that out of the way first before someone's thinking, what on earth's the point in that? Why would you do it? So it's a hybrid exercise, more of a conditioning based exercise as opposed to power and strength. So I'm actually here on a squat rack. Squat racks are really important for bench presses. You don't have to use one, but it's your get out of jail card, because what we have is we have this little catch here at the bottom, meaning when I bring the barbell down, if I get into a position where I can't do any more repetitions, rather than having potentially a heavy weight on my chest and not being able to move it if I didn't have a spotter, this means that I can place this just above the position of my chest. I can then bring the bar down, and then what happens is the bar hits this before my chest and I can roll it out of position should I need to. Most squat racks have these. I've got a new squat rack here where they've got a pin mechanism. So what I would do is I'd pop the pin out and I can move these up and down. With the old school style squat racks, you actually have to manually lift them in and slot them down, or if you wanted to take it out, you'd lift it up and slot it out. You've also got here the barbell, which is on these little rack here. So the rack that the barbell's in, where it's held into, this is really important as well, because your position, if it's too high, you're going to be really reaching for it to try and get the barbell off the rack. And if it's too low, you're basically going to be doing a whole repetition, right? So we want to make sure that it's in a position where when we have our shoulders back and we're coming into our start position, it's a slight lift off, enough for us to be able to do our first repetition. So I'm going to come back to this later, so ignore that for the time being. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have my feet at hip width apart, and I'm going to walk my feet so they are behind the position of my knees. When I then come back, I'm coming back having the barbell in line with my chest. From here, I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together, which pushes my shoulders back. Means that I'm going to get more chest activation and less shoulder activation during the exercise. And then this is where it all gets a little bit strange. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the hands on the bar, just wider than shoulder width apart. And then this is where the knees come up. They're just beyond the hips. I'm then going to bring the barbell off the rack, vertically come down, and back up. So I'm getting a contraction in my core and hip flexors, as well as my chest working at the same time. Once I'm done, I bring the bar straight back, so fully extend the arms, bar straight back, and bar down. Now let's say, for example, you was doing repetitions to failure. Maybe it's something that you've never done before in terms of the load of weight, or you're looking around the gym and you're going, there's no one to spot me. What we can do is we can put these up. Now in this position, the barbell is going to hit this before it hits my chest. And this is really important. So I'm going to do my best reenactment of me struggling with the barbell. So all the same cues, shoulder blades together. I'm going to bring then the knees up. Hands are just slightly wider than that shoulder width apart. Knees beyond the position of my hips. Let's say I'm struggling, I come down. Uh-oh, I can't bring the weight up. I can rest the bar down, bring my feet down, and slide the bar out. So I'm now in a position where in terms of health and safety, I've controlled the amount of big weight that's going to be on the bar that I couldn't do, or I've gone to failure. I'm not at any risk because I've been able to slide the bar out, and of course I can stand up and get out of position of the squat rack. So that is how you do a knees up variation hybrid of the bench press.